Hey guys, Rob from Georgia here with you, aka VHS82 apostrophe, with episode 5 of the Crazy Fives, as I call them. And episode 5 here, we got what we're calling, those crazy endings, volume 1. Because I know we're going to come back to this at some point down the road. I mean, this is not a definitive top 5 of the greatest endings of all time. This is not even an ordering of those, simply because I decided as a general rule that when I do these Crazy Fives, I'm just going to go chronological by year release. And just, to kind of take a little bit of that thought process out. And up till now, until now, this list right here, I thought even just going chronologically, the list, for a lot of people probably could have set pretty well the way they went from 5 to 1. Not so much this one, probably. This one is sort of, this one's going to be a grab bag of, some are going to hit people the right way and others going to be like, I don't know, but these are my endings, man, right? This is my Crazy Five. This is my top 5. So I always have one outside looking in, and it's the one you see up there, right? Motel Hell. Scream Factory release, man. And the ending, the crazy ending, is the freaking chainsaw fight at the end, man, with the pig head. What is that? What is that people calling it? Pig-headed horror. Do some of that, man. Do some Gru in here, man. I remember as a kid, I had the Fangoria cover piece. I had that Fangoria issue, and I had a teacher pick it up, man. And took it from me, and I never got it back. And since I've never got that issue back. Hate it, man. I hate it because I would love that cover. But the chainsaw, man, just for the epic chainsaw duel at the end, man, it gets notice on my mind in terms of endings. You just gotta love it. And I went back and revisited all of these, and so I have no problem running with these. So let's jump into the 5, right? Number 5 arguably could be number 1 on anyone's list in terms of greatest endings ever. Has the notoriety of having the original author of the book. This wasn't his ending, but in turn loved the ending of the film adaptation and wished it was his, which is kind of funny. And we are talking about The Mist from 2007. No VHS release, as it just missed the cutoff. Apparently in 2006 was the cutoff. And I think History of Violence was the last major release to actually get a VHS release, which is interesting. So, and it's unfortunate that The Mist just missed it, because it would have been cool having this hanging around on VHS. But what I got here is the Broom edition, and so of course this is Darabont's black and white copy that he was allowed to do, and it is beautiful. It looks absolutely gorgeous. But the end, God, if you've never seen The Mist, this end, man, is I rewatched it the other night, and I was blown away just by, in black and white too, and just how, man, hardcore it is. Dude, the decision to just the decision, knowing or thinking, fearing that your ultimate nightmare is closing in, and deciding to opt out in a way that is absolutely terrifying, only to be confronted by one that this was the worst choice one could ever make. And I'm not going to say much more than that, just in case, because this is an ending that deserves to be really truly viewed without really knowing what goes down. But man, The Mist, what a freaking ending. Number 4, first release in 1999. I saw it theatrically. The film itself, I mean, it is kind of garnered a cult classic sort of thing to it in terms of found footage. It was released, and actually I have it. Artisan put out, the home entertainment put it out on VHS, and that is, of course, the Blair Witch Project. I just dug the end, man. Even more than the entirety of the film. I love that whole go into that vacated house building structure, and then just sort of, trailing up first, and then kind of trailing back down, hearing the voices, hearing the cries, and then just come down and seeing the buddy just standing in the corner, man. Also, down, dead. That's it. Some people hated that. I loved it. It hit me right. I thought, dang, because then your imagination springs into action. You're just like, what just took place? What just happened? Is the witch real? And all these thoughts and everything. So I dug it, saw it theatrically, and I still think it's a great ending to a film. Number 3, this is one of my all-time classic endings of all time. Tom freaking Atkins. Halloween 3, man. Season of the Witch. This is my German steelbook release. I just dug the cover kind of thing going on there. So cool. Saw this on the big screen as well as a few years back. 1982 MCA Universal release on VHS. Tommy Lee Wallace film, and of course Tommy Atkins at the end, man. You know the drill, man. I mean, it is an apocalyptic film in terms of the sense that a whole population of children are going to be killed, or anyone who has these masks on, right? But it is really aiming at the kids. And he I think he gets 1-2 networks down, and there's still one, and we're just left with him on the phone screaming, you know, no, oh no. Sorry, my voice is shot. But it's such a classic. Such a classic ad. I gotta love it, man. And the music and the score, whatever it is. It's just so much fun, man. And it just leaves, again, your imagination springs into action. How many kids just died? Really torturous deaths. It's a pretty terrifying thing, but Tom Atkins really sells it good at the end. Again, here we go. Number 2, maybe somewhat rightly placed, or it could be people's number ones. First released in 1981, one of my favorite directors of all time. First released by Thriller Video, 1981. Also, AKA known as the 7 Doors of Death. That probably was the bad cut. And you probably know where I'm already. Lucio Fulci, man, the Beyond. Of course, this is the Grindhouse edition, man. It don't get any better than this. But the ending, man, walking off into some kind of purgatorial world that is endless, looping probably, just dark, man. Just the tone. Just, man, it's got to be one of the greatest singular. Maybe this probably deserves maybe the greatest end in the history of horror films. Perhaps. It is a debate to have, isn't not? But Lucio Fulci's The Beyond, man, comes in, man. And that leads us to our number 1. Now, remember, everything is chronologically based. So this is 1974, one of my favorite Spanish directors, Vid America. Releases it in 74, but it's known as Horror of the Zombies. We are the 3rd entry into Armando de Osorio's Tombs of the Blind Dead. We are talking Ghost Galleon. Now, why does this show up on my mind thinking about endings? Because the ending is so freaking awesome, man. A lot of cheesy parts to the movie. But if you're a Tombs of the Blind Dead fan, you're a fan of the franchise. I mean, and this one's probably the one that gets the most hate, but the ending is great, man. The two that ought to get their just desserts do get their just desserts in such a brilliant fashion, man. I mean, you know, they're washed up on the beach. They're so waterlogged, fatigued. They can't do anything but just lay there in the sand, man. And slowly but surely, man, unbeknownst to them, the blind dead just rise up out of the water and come. And before they even know what's going on, man, they turn their head and they look up, and man, your doom has just come for you. It is. Say what you about the rest of the film. It has its moments, but the end, I thought the end was brilliant. Brilliant. So going with chronological order, whatever. At number 1, compliments of Armando de Osorio, The Ghost Galleon. At the end is freaking awesome. Of course, one of the seminal great endings of film history, The Beyond by Lucio Fulci. And then coming up to 3, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. I didn't plan it like that. Such a great classic ending. Number 4, The Blair Witch Project. Again, say what you will about the rest of the movie, and a lot of people love it though. I mean, it's got its crowd, man. It's got its crowd. Another great seminal ending there. The Mist and the compliments of the Broom edition here, the black and white copy by Frank Darabont. Just a soul crushing end. God, I saw this in the theater, man, and that just was absolutely crushing. And then outside looking in, of course, one of the great chainsaw fights, man, in cinema history, Motel. Technically hello, but you know that O drops off, so man, we're left in, well, yeah. So anyway, so another edition of Crazy Fives. This one, some crazy endings, and again, not necessarily going after what ought to be the most critical endings, but really just ones that I enjoy. And these are outside looking in, 6 endings that I really, really, really enjoy. And there are a lot of others. And so that's why I say volume 1. There'll be another volume because there is one movie by David Fincher, which, you know, has to be in the next list. And saw that in the theater, and what a gut punch that end was. So yeah, at some point, you know, get a few more episodes. Maybe we'll come back around to this again and come up with a new list of other great endings. So what are your top endings, man? Put it down. Let me see what those endings are, man. I mean, I'm sure I've seen them, but if I didn't, I'll be happy to check them out, man. As always, man, we leave these things off with Go Bills.
This is not a dream. Not a dream.